o'clock in the morning. Why on earth are you making chocolate pudding?
Because I've lost control of my life.
The city's sleeping like a soldier trapped inside of an iron. Machines can keep you breathing, but what happens when you find a new war's begun? Flip a switch, you turn it off, you won't be able to breathe. So either way, you're a casualty. I've got this blood and left, my veins are filled with nothing but gasoline. And with the spark, it's gonna be the biggest fire they've ever seen. Coming down, let me run. Either way, it's all gonna burn. The only way that they'll ever learn. Flip a switch. Light up the night. There is a city and the darkness can't hide. There are the embers of the fire's gone out, but I can still feel the heat on my skin. This mess we're in, where you and I, maybe you and I, we can still make it right. Maybe we can bring back the light. At the heart of the city. At the heart of the city, there's a building that looks down over all there is. And the man in the tower controls it all without releasing a single fist. It's like hell in the city, they sold it to the devil now. It's gone to hell and they wonder how. Real friends doing many fall with a man who would turn the wheels. Now the wheels are spinning out of control. What would they do if we held them still? If you destroy the working parts, what you get is a broken machine. A beacon of light from a burning screen. Light up the night. There is a city and the darkness can't hide. There are the embers of the fire's gone out, but I can still feel the heat on my skin. This mess we're in, where you and I, maybe you and I, we can light up the night.
I think that one's swimming.
Hello everyone, my name is Notepad Anon and I write games for fun. And before we begin, I gotta do a few things. Let me get my handy dandy list here. Thank you, Varric. Thank you, Varric, for forcing me to do this live and not having to set it already. God damn it. Well, thank you, Varric. Thank you for the follow. I'd also like to thank Paper Bag, I believe China, or Paper Bag Ch, and Halbernock, yeah. I'd like to thank them for following as well. We're up to 66 followers. We're becoming real human beings finally. This is good news. So, two things before we begin. One, I'm not confident whether or not I'll be able to stay. We just had a massive fucking storm. and sometimes power goes out. So that's something you gotta worry about. The second thing is, and I have to put this down because I don't know if it'll get changed. And I'm doing this entirely because I am not confident that this site will be up. This is the TSR site. Yeah, this is the tsr.games site. I'm not crazy. I've not edited anything. I've not done this. This is Wonder-Filled Games when he actually spelled wrong. I called this all those 2 months ago. I called this just when this shit started. I called it. I knew it. So this is literally just for posterity. Hell yeah. Yeah. Streaming times. The only streaming schedule I adhere to is vaguely Monday, Wednesday, Friday with Saturday stuff. Now, I'm not crazy. This is the TSR site. We live in Clown Town. This is yeah. This is just Clown Town we're living in now. But what are we working on today? Well, with the conclusion of Gachamuchi Nirvana Seekers, we're dealing with Shadowrun. Specifically, there's like, I have 7 fucking names for this thing, but tentatively it's Shadowrun Black Mohawks. Or Black Mohawk, to be specific. And if we go to my Miro real fast, which is, everyone should use Miro, because they're probably fucking grown. We live in an X-card society. Yeah, we do. This is Clown Town. We've entered officially Clown City. It's great. But this is Shadowrun. Now, for those who don't know Shadowrun, you need a little bit of context. Now, Shadowrun at its core is... Let me actually bring up the Wikipedia article. Ironically, the Wikipedia article does a pretty good job of summarizing everything. But Shadowrun initially came out in 1989. But Shadowrun itself came out in 1989. This game is one of the older games that have made its way out there in the world. And is still around today with the latest edition of 6th edition coming out in 2019. And it's one of the big things about it too is that all throughout these years, here, the chronology of the actual setting has always continued. And I believe it started in the 2040s, 2050s, 2060s, and now we're in the 2070s. Maybe a decade up, I don't remember. Yeah, Shadowrun's fucking old. Yeah, 1989. And actually, one thing to note is a lot of people have a very fond memory of... it wouldn't be it'd be Shadowrun. You had the Shadowrun SNES game. Yeah, this was an older. This was 93. This game came out. Yeah, this is fucking the SNES game. They also had a Genesis game. Yeah, fucking Sega Genesis game. Like, Shadowrun was like big fucking deal. This is one I actually saw a full video of this. Grimmith R did this. Like, Shadowrun was like a big fucking deal. Because it was something completely different from what at that point was dominated by Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. Because AD&D Second edition, actually third edition. Let's see, third edition D&D came out 2000. So Shadowrun was 11 years old. Yeah, the Shadowrun 360. We don't talk about the Shadowrun 360 game. Like, people don't really think about it that way. It's odd because, again, it was 11 years. Like, it was on its third edition before even D&D was. And it was something completely different because it was actually one of the first big games to use a dice pool system, which it seems kind of weird now. Like, oh, it's a dice pool system. But back in the day, that wasn't really a thing. People didn't really use that kind of dice pool system that we would normally see. However, 1989... Yeah, exactly. It was the first one to kind of do its own thing in that regard. And Shadowrun was very different because it wasn't, hey, let's make a space game or let's do fantasy. It was science fiction fantasy. Well, that was completely different. That wasn't really something that had been touched upon. And yeah, like Traveler 1E came out in 77 and things like that. Like, Shadowrun was old, but it was also kind of has this old vision of the future. Because if we all do a little bit of a big think, in 89, I want you all to grab your phone. Now, do you have your mobile phone in your hand now? Congratulations. This shit wasn't possible back then. It's weird for us to think about, but they didn't have cell phones really back in 89. It was, and if they did, it was these giant things. That's why you get some, let's see if I can find the old Shadowrun deckers. It's like, oh yeah, what do you do? I'm a decker. Where you had a giant handheld accordion computer going with you. Shit was whack. It was edgy. It was grimy. Come the fuck on, look at this. But then Shadowrun happened. And then exactly. It's weird to think about that even like 20 years ago, you know, everyone having like a flip phone was cool in 2000. And this was 89. This was way before anything. Kind of mix that all together. And you have some very odd points in this because they didn't account for things like Google. You didn't have things like oh yeah, my favorite one is what happened to Detroit in Shadowrun. 2008 never occurred because in 89, Detroit was the center of the fucking manufacturing industry. It was Detroit. Everyone wanted to live in Detroit because Detroit was the shit back then. Because everyone had money. It was the industrial heartland. It was this. And it was weird. It was edgy. It has everything of that like culmination of 90s jank that we all love. But time made a fool of us all. There's one thing about D&D and one thing about things like Pathfinder. Fantasy is timeless. It was. No, like, Ajax, here's the weird thing about Detroit. Detroit was in the heart of, like, the American industrial center. Detroit was industry in a nutshell. It was the home of things like General Motors and shit like that. There was a shit ton of money in Detroit. Then when 2008 hit, all these auto manufacturers went out of business. People were losing things. Places like Detroit are the ones that went to shit real fucking fast. It was a big city, don't get me wrong, and big cities always have their issues. But remove all the positive aspects of a city, That's what happened in 2008. Like, there was no money. Detroit has yet to recover. But in Shadowrun, God, who was it? It was Apollo? No, it's Ares. Ares, the big company. Ares bought Detroit and built their super ecology in it. Because you can do that. And it was its own interest. Yeah, you might have heard of it coming up soon because recently, if I remember correctly, in 2021, a few months ago, goblinization was supposed to occur. That's when all the orcs and trolls came to be. Now, one of the complicated and terrifying things is the Shadowrun kind of got fucked by its publishing. It was published by FASA for about, looks like about, 10 years. A little over a decade. Transferred to the WizKids. 2 years after its closure, FASA sold the video game branch to Microsoft. But then it also went to another company in Germany, and then you had the Catalyst Games get it. And then you had 5th edition came out in 2012, which was like a huge gap in between the two editions. Like 5th edition, 4th edition to 5th edition was almost 8 years, which is kind of mind-boggling in its own way at that time. Then 6th edition. Oh, Jesus, 6th edition. You are correct. Japan was stomping on our... That's why you actually see, like, the currency in Shadowrun is called New Yen. Because there was this big thing that Japanese tech companies were going to take over everything. And a lot of the companies in Shadowrun are Japanese. One of the main character archetypes are called street samurai, for fuck's sake. Like, it is very much a product of its time. And that product didn't age well. Did not age well at all, mind you. And, flash forward now, you have things like 6th edition. 6th edition kind of complicated things. Catalyst Game Labs themselves had a lot of issues, such as embezzlement and not paying people. There were a lot of issues. It was, age worse than the old World of Darkness. Yeah, like, shit on, New World of Darkness, shit on the New World of Darkness all you want, but they did make it a lot more time, like, this can stand the test of time a little bit easier. That's the problem. Because remember what I said earlier, they've kept the same chronology since 1st edition. The world has continued for 20 years in setting. Nothing has changed. Actually, it's been 30 years. And 30 years in setting has occurred since 30 years here. So, it's not Neo 1. It's still New Yen, and they had to change a bunch of things. And... we don't talk about V5. we don't talk about V5 that much. But it's odd because no one anticipated the cryptocurrency thing. Because crypto's kind of already a thing, but not. You have, like, there's so much Shadowrun to actually just, like, pick apart. It's really odd. Like, bring up one of my books. Shadowrun. Now, actually, here, I wonder if I can find... Now, what I'm going to do, these are all of the books that were published All of these contain things like lore and contain different items and different parts and different things. And every single one of them has different parts and settings and parts and issues and people in it. And there's adventures, and they all link together sometimes, and everything is working together. And oh my god, there's so much shit. Like, we don't really think of the sheer amount of like how big now this is where things get very complicated very fast. So I'm going to open up 3rd edition real fast, and I'm going to open up 5th edition real fast. So 5th edition is 489 pages long. And yeah, no, it's like one of the problems with Shadowrun nowadays, and like one of the major issues that people kind of associate with it, is Shadowrun is clunky. It is thick. It is big. It is massive for just the amount of shit that goes into it. And I think like one of the ones that I think does like a really good job of demonstrating this, Charisma Links, this is 3rd edition, which is only 354 pages. Now, this is the social, like, I want to make a charisma linked ability. I want to convince someone in something. Okay, make sure you roll on the racism table first. And before a character can interact with the NPC, the game master must determine whether or not the NPC has any racial prejudices. Find out, roll 2d6 and subtract 6 from the roll if the test is positive number and the NPC is prejudiced. The more racist the NPC. This is a massive section. And there are so many little rules and little parts to things that you kind of have to embrace. And some people embrace Shadowrun for that reason, and it's kind of known for being that ridiculously crunchy for a reason. And some people love it. Some people adore Shadowrun for that reason. But it really turns people off. And that's one of the things that I'm trying to do. I need to, that my goal, anyway, is to make things as easy to play as possible. And I would like to make things as yeah, the game is jank. There's a lot of points, and even comes to things like, oh, if you want to attack multiple people, there's about 7 different steps you need to do in it. So, what do I have so far? This is my notes on things. So, my big thing is character creation should, I misspelled should because I'm an idiot, should be simple, and I need to cut a lot of things and just balance things out, because one thing to note, now, I need to make a very simple character. Let's make a real simple character. Alright, let's do it. On page 55. Actually, I think it'd be 54. Now, this is the priority system. Now, how the priority system works, you get an A, B, C, D, and E. That's it. So you assign an A, you assign a B, you assign a C, D, and E. Okay. If I want to be a troll, I have to assign at least a C because trolls are big and scary. I want to be a magician. Well, I'm going to have an A or B. If I'm not like really needing that much money, $5,000 will do. Pretty simple. Now, all right, gamers, are you ready to be gamerinos? Let's go through all this. This is the new priority table. Now, what this effectively means is how many of your good boy points you get at the end, which you have to spend on either resonance, which is Techno-Magic, magic, which is magic, or edge, which is good boy points. Now, as you can see, lower priority means you get less good boy points. And then you have your attributes. And God help you if you actually have a good magic rating. Because you may be seeing, Notepad, what the fuck is any of this? Well, gamers. Okay. A magician is someone who can use all the forms of magic. A mystic adept is someone who can augment their own body using their magic. Technomancers can technically interface with the Matrix using their own mind magic. Actually, mystic adepts are kind of more like magician casters. They can do their own thing. Adepts are the ones who specifically do that. And an aspected magician is someone who can only tap into one single idea of it, rather than like a full-on different thing. Also, here's your skills. So your skills come in your basic variety. There's a number of points, a number of specialties, and a number of resources. And don't forget about your attributes, and don't forget about everything else. Now, you understand why I need to cut shit down. Which is going to be a big part of this. What I was going to be doing is adopting a little bit of the character creation point system from Song of Swords. Now, if that sounds familiar, it's because that's what was in Gachamuchi Nirvana Seekers. That kind of concept of spending X amount of points to get something. That should work. And one of the other parts of what I was going to debate, I actually was talking with Britbong on autism, in the autism channel, about cutting technomancers and folding them into magic, because that's kind of what they are already, because nobody knows what the fuck technomancers are in setting even. So pretty much magic is going to be we're going to have our basic attributes as well as skills, as well as everything else in a D6 dice pool system using 5 and 6 as successes. But this is where things start getting a little bit more complicated. You'll see when you get to this mess. At its core, Shadowrun is a heist game. It is a game about planning a heist or planning a job to do something. We have been hired by an anonymous Mr. Johnson, to ambush a convoy and steal whatever inside. Cool. Simple. How do we do that? Alright. Well, we can use combat and just blow it up and see what we need from it. We can use some magic to see if we can't astrally project our way in and kind of figure out some things there. We can use social to kind of negotiate our way in, or we can use tech to see if we can't hack something. Those four form a very direct thing with each other in a horrifying object where each connects into each other. And when I was kind of talking with people about it, that CMST thing of combat, magic, social, tech have to be balanced, because usually it's combat, social, other. D&D and fantasy games, combat, social, magic. Science fiction games and cyberpunk settings in general, combat, social, tech. Shadowrun is unique because it has that magic element to things, which adds just another layer to it. So it's we can approach the situation with combat, magic, social, tech, but also your tech can be used for combat, and your magic can be used for combat. Magic can be used for tech, and social can be used for tech, and social is also tied to magic in some cases, which combat also is tied to magic, tech, and social in different ways. Those 4 pillars merge with each other. And good fucking God, you are understanding the sheer amount of autism that this project already is. So, let's see, what are we needing to do? Okay, we need to break down what characters are made of first. So these are all of the attributes actually from, this is 5th edition. So there's body, agility, reaction, strength, willpower, logic, intelligence, intuition. Sorry, intuition. Reaction, strength, charisma, intuition, logic, willpower, and then essence, which essence has to remain the same. So our our attributes. This is 3rd edition attributes. Now 4th edition changed how the attributes work. Things got kind of broken down because quickness got dumped into agility and reaction. Strength, charisma, intelligence. Intelligence got broken down into logic and intuition. Is equal to quickness and intelligence added together and divided by 2. Sweet Jesus. Okay. Oh yeah, also cybernetics eats your soul, so your essence is actually its own different thing. Fun fact. So we can go with derived attributes actually. So we're gonna use this instead. So we can use something like reaction, which can be quickness. So our basic derived attributes is going to be quickness plus intelligence if we want to go with the 3rd edition way of thinking. Divided by 2. Actually, do the bod quick. Actually, we can do quick. QIK STR CHA INT. And we're going to have to make essence just a blank attribute on the side, along with magic and edge. So these all are kind of the same in that regard. Hey, Catboy OCs, that makes money. Makes money, baby. Have you seen how many male VTubers are out there who effectively his entire gimmick is just being a cat boy, or like wearing a hoodie and being a cat boy. Good God, man. I want in on that racket. But unfortunately, I'm just a note man. So, okay, we're using reaction there. Attribute has to be, so what other ones would be? Unless, what is reaction used for? For example, quickness 5. Okay, so, oh Lord. Now this is where things get double complicated. It's odd when you go back to some of these guys you used to watch religiously back in the day, and you're like, oh God, why are you the way that you are? So quickness is more like an attribute. So we scrap quickness. Unless we do something like this. So that puts us, if we do that, we're not going to split intelligence up. We need intelligence, but then that makes Jillian. Do we want to do derived attributes? Actually, okay, we do derived attributes. Here's what we can do. Quickness, QCK. Our reaction time. All right, our reaction is going to be QK plus int divided by 2. So how do we determine our health? Well, how do we determine health? Let's find that out. Tell me your math. I'm mostly basing things off 3rd edition because 3rd edition was before they made like the major shift over. Because when they made the big shift over, actually, so that's when things got a little bit more complicated. God bless this world of ours. Let me find out what the number of boxes are. Okay, so we have the condition monitors. Things with like the black code, like the Backbone and stuff. Like a lot of those guys back in the day, there comes this point about any content creator's life where they have to make a decision of, do I stick with the edge factor, kind of keep that like haha, or do you start going through the mass appeal? Mass appeal usually wins out because it's that, and it's a more consistent, way of doing things. Like Seth, for example. Seth is one of the few people who could probably get away with it by kind of being able to continue growth. But even then, if you actually look at Seth's videos, he has very successful ones, and he has somewhat successful ones. But he doesn't really rely on anyone except us merchants. Some people do, some people don't. Mongoose released an official Sea of Thieves RPG. I heard them talking about that. Didn't think I knew what they were doing with it. So let's see. If character takes more, applying damage, stun damage, physical damage. Two column damage code of the weapon. Oh yeah. Oh god, I forgot they have the fucking stun checks. Physical damage takes longer at the time. Physical condition monitor equal to body divided by 2 plus 8. Stun damage, willpower divided by 2 plus 8. Oh, Jesus. Okay, so according to 5th edition, we can actually calculate our health. What draws me to Shadowrun? Shadowrun is one of those settings and games that I would love to run, and I think a lot of people would also love to run, but then it's just like, all right, I'm going to get into Shadowrun, and they open the book up, and it's 400 pages of sadness, and they're like, fuck. Like, this isn't what I want. Mostly if you're coming off things, something like D&D, Shadowrun is such a different beast. It is almost impossible to even comprehend something like that. I wonder, do I have Anarchy? Okay, yes, I do actually have Anarchy. Now, the thing is, Catalyst actually said, hey, we know people are terrified of our game. So they released a game called Shadowrun Anarchy, which is supposed to be kind of an easier way of doing it. It's an alternate rule set. Alright, that sounds pretty cool. Oh no. No, no, no. No, no. It's... One of the issues is that instead of trying to make things simpler for people to play, it went the other direction. And by other direction, it became players apply their not just their characters' actions, they work with the you know, with the build some entertaining. Now, one of the things is you don't technically need to have a GM to run this game. And it's almost like a fucking narrative system and how it works and how it kind of does its own thing. And it's like, oh boy, I'd sure love my fucking game to be like a damn near, you know, like world building, like a world building experience. And so each turn begins with the GM and continues with the player on the GM's left until all players have had a turn in narration. Narrate their characters. It's about narration. It's about scenes. It's about stuff like that. It's about plot tokens and plot power. And it's not good. It's not very good, is what I'm trying to get across. It tried to do a lot of cool things, and those cool things just didn't work. And there were a lot of ideas that just didn't function the way they wanted it to. Oh, someone's pinging me. Gotcha. So, apparently now everybody wants the dam. Oh god, I clicked the wrong button. Oh no. Discord, please. Oh no. No, I don't want that. Like, that's kind of like one of the big issues with Shadowrun is that everybody wants their own part of Shadowrun and nobody actually wants to run Shadowrun. They want to run it in a different system, which kind of has its own issues. So let's do physical damage track. So we can do physical damage level, which would be body divided by 2. And then we do stun damage level, which we can do by will divided by 2. And the idea is we can do a stacking health system. So it would be something like no wounds, light wounds, heavy wounds, serious wounds, and then finally lethal. Mortal wounds. So it would be kind of the idea of okay, so it would be the concept of, let's say I have a body of 4, I would have 2, so it'd be 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. So if I got hit for 4 damage, my 0 wounds would go away and my light wounds would go away. Or something like that. This might change. I'm not entirely sure how I want to do this. Well, actually, here's what I can do. We can do strength divided by 2 for that. So it would just be the average of body plus strength. Well, here we can do bod plus willpower divided by 2. Make it the average of that. So you're a little bit hardier and you get a little bit more stun, but you always have 4 or 5 stun tracks, which Sequential system, I think that sequential system, zero light, heavy, serious, deadly, etc. Based on a derived attribute. Feels like I should add another one here. I don't know what I would want to add because your reaction is going to be your snap second decision making. You're going to have your essence, magic, and edge determined entirely by your character creation points. We can just make reaction its own separate thing. Work. Not flawless, but it works. People keep posting. Oh, it's from that server. Okay. All right. We use this for now. I can get a few more. I can get some more suggestions from the people in SRG, but I need something to show them. That's the big thing. Essence, magic, edge. Essence, magic, edge. Essence always equals 6. Magic / edge equal priority, quote unquote, priority table, quote unquote, priority table. So if I select one with like 5 in my magic and edge, I could split it between 3 magic, 2 edge if I feel like it. But I'll always have an essence of 6. But I had someone fight me on that, actually, being this like, well, I can break the rules. I'm like, well, technically, if you want to play by the spirit of the game, no, you literally cannot. It's like, can you be a female secret? No. Stop it. Hey, all I'm doing is follow classic Buddhist thought. You wouldn't be trampling on another person's religion, would you? God, what are you? Racist? Let's see, Essence 6. We can use that based on the priority table. We can use that based on the priority table. Okay. We can show them this. I can say... feels like I'm missing something. I do feel like I'm missing something pretty fucking drastic here, and I don't know what it is. It's going to drive me up the fucking wall. Okay, now I need hunt down skills. Who's ready to hunt down skills? I am, because there's like a fucking million skills. Okay. Now, this is one of those things that makes people scared of this game. Do you know how many skills there are? A lot. There are a lot of skills. And sometimes they're put into different things. And some of those are split up into different things, actually. You know what? All right. We got to sort through all of these. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Okay, so diving, free fall. Diving, free fall are body attributes, body skills, agility skills, automatics, archery, clubs, blades, escape artist, gunnery, heavy weapons, gymnastics, locksmith, long arms, pistols, palming, sneaking, throwing weapons, unarmed combat, exotic melee weapons, exotic ranged weapons. Yeah, we're gonna be cutting these. Yeah, we're gonna gut these. We're gonna gut these quite a bit. oh, rest a fucking shirt. I just want to kind of give you the idea of how fucking many skills there are in this game. Let's see, pilot, aerospace, pilot walker, pilot aircraft, pilot exotic vehicle, pilot ground craft, pilot watercraft, strength, running, swimming. Now these are only the active skills, mind you, not anything else. These are just the active ones. Astral combat, survival, charisma. This one is always one people get in a fucking argument about in SRG. And I know why, because this entire system's a little bit jank. So, charisma, we're dealing with con, instruction. Not con that way. Con, instruction. Notepad, why don't you just put this in the fucking document like you're supposed to? Maybe you should do that. Now, I have to spread these out a little bit because I know for a fucking fact there is... logic skills. You want to know why I am dead fucking silent right now? It is literally just I'm focusing because there's so much things I need to make sure don't explode at like 1/2 millisecond. Because I know the second I look away, it's something's gonna pop. I know it. Okay. I believe those are not all the skills at all. Awesome. Not at all. Oh god, why are there so many fucking skills? You there. Okay, so, and then finally we have resonance. Resonance is not going to be a thing, but I need to put it in here for the sake of putting it in here. Resonance. Okay, so those are all our skills. These are not, no. You thought those were just the skills. Oh no. Welcome to knowledge skills, which we have to worry about things like street skills. So we have street skills, academic skills, not professional skills, and second professional skills. Well, I'm going to call career skill. Put you down here. Oh, God. Perception tests. Judge intentions. Okay, these aren't skills. These aren't real skills, and they cannot hurt me. Okay. So, we've got our skills, everybody. We have all of the Shadowrun 5th edition skills. And now we get to determine which ones make the cut. And the answer is not many. So, diving, freefall, we don't need any of those. Intuition, we already have language skills. We don't need that here. Perception, oh god, I guess. Tracking? No. Disguise, we can keep in. Interests, knowledge, street knowledge. This, go away. We don't need them. Assessing. What the fuck is assessing? Assessing? Oh. It's magic. God fucking damn it. Yeah, I had. You don't know, like, your skill is listed in 20. It's for babies. Where it's for babies. I need to cut down the skills. Name tail. Okay, so this is magic. Assessing does not need to be a skill. If it's already going to be a magic skill, we don't need it. Navigation. Okay, so don't need you. So what we can actually do is we're just going to keep long arms. Long arms is going to be its own thing. We don't need we don't need automatics. We don't need gunnery. We don't need pistols. Handguns, maybe. Fuck, we need handguns, don't we? Fuck. Don't need palming. We don't need the exotic. We don't need any of the exotics. However, handguns. Where did I put? It's pistols. We're going to change that to handguns. We don't need blades. We don't need clubs. Those are going to be into melee weapons. Do we need archery? No, we don't. Actually, what we can do is we can call this, actually, fuck it. Let's just call it ranged weapons. Fuck it. Fuck it. What are they gonna do? And then we can assign all the bonus dice for it, because the same principles would apply, really. It's mostly about your skill at doing those particular things. It's your hand-eye coordination. It's things like that. If you're a good archer, you should be at least a half-decent person at when you can aim a gun. Sneaking. A locksmith, like... We could do something like this. This does cut down the skill list pretty damn significantly. No, actually what I was thinking about doing is, I went over it this last Saturday. Come on, little... So, in the Chronicle system that we kind of went over with the Ice and Fire game, one of the ways they do things is you have these very broad skills. So you have something like, let's say, athletics, but then you would add +2, like 1 bonus dice to running. So in this idea, it would be like ranged weapons. Like, okay, cool. But it would be like +2B handguns, +2B long arms. Like, you immediately know what you're going for, and you have an idea of what you would want on it. The thing is, you wouldn't really need to worry about, okay, am I spec'd into shotguns versus am I spec'd into automatics? Do I not have... Yeah, that's what I'd effectively be needing to do, with the basic idea that, as a ranged weapon, you understand ranged weapons. I hand you a rifle. If you know ranged weapons, you're like, okay, this is a rifle. You may not be as comfortable with it as, say, a shotgun. And you're like, yeah, you hand me a shotgun, I'm going to be like, yeah, I know exactly what the hell this is. Click, click. Oh, this is a nice gun. However, if I hand you a battle rifle, you're going to be like, I get what it is. I understand it's a fucking rifle. I can shoot it. I'm not going to be as good as shooting it, though. You can't compensate as well. Yeah, where's the pump action on this rifle? Like, because that's like a real thing that can occur in Shadowrun, being this like, well, here's my automatics weapon. I cannot aim this pistol at all, but I understand how to shoot automatics. But I don't know how to shoot a rifle at all, though. But I know how to shoot an automatic rifle. Very different. It's like, not quite. And that also allows us to scrap the... It allows us to kind of scrap this concept. Because, like, the... Oh, God, I forgot all of these also have different... Fuck. Wait, where's the medicine? Is medicine not on here? I forgot these. Or did I? Nah. Nah. Now we can ignore these. Actually, we can probably put something like outdoors somewhere. Like right there. But, okay. Pilot. No, we're going to break this down. We're going to do pilot simple. Pilot advanced. God, actually... Actually, we can probably do, like, pilot ground, pilot water, pilot air. Where, if we do that, if we break it down into 3 like that, it would be the idea of... Whoa, we're not even close to hacking yet. Hacking is its own. Hacking gets its own fucking section in the book. Like, hacking is its own nightmare. People are actively, like, terrified of in Shadowrun. This is just the skill section. We haven't even got to that shit yet. So, strength, running, swimming. What we can do, we can have this based off of something like athletics. Athletics, and then we can do, we can break these down into like athletics and acrobatics. Or we just say, fuck it, and not have either. Because athletics would imply that it's like, okay, you know how to run, athletics are your raw ability to use your strength, versus acrobatics would be like jumping around doing cool shit like that. Alright, that's easy enough. I'm going to keep Astral Combat right here. And I'm going to keep Astral Combat right there for two reasons. One, I don't know how I want to handle magic yet, and I don't feel like it. So, this is where things started getting a little bit whack. So I'm going to ignore it and go right to logic instead. Yeah, logic. So, Arcana, we're going to cut that. We're actually just going to make this mechanics. Chemistry, we don't need. Cyber tech, we don't need. Demolitions, we kind of need. First aid, don't need. Hacking. Yes, we need that. We don't need professional knowledge. We don't need forgery. Forgery we can do into something else. Aeronautics, we don't need it. Armor, don't need it. Biotech, don't need it. Computer. Sub out hacking for computer. Cyber combat, put it in computer. Electronic warfare, put it in computer. Industrial mechanics, we're going to have mechanics already. Hardware, already putting it. Actually, we can sub out hardware for mechanics. Makes it a little bit more. Actually, no. I don't know if I want to sub out hardware or not. Okay. Yeah, let me just get rid of like 95% of the skills. However, the key idea is, you guessed it, you can just get like academics. Like, it's... Yeah, like, it's not that difficult. Because we already have academic skills. We already have this. So if you want to be, let's say your character, you're like, okay, I was a professor at, it's like, oh, I was a professor at a school, teaching, mechanics or something, and I got fired from my job. You could have the academic skill of, mechanics or something like that. Like, you could... If you have an academic skill in biochemistry, you are not having biochemistry because it's an important part of your fucking character. You are having biochemistry because you are a biochemist. That's part of your backstory. I could actually probably use a little bit of the D2000 ideas when it comes to skills. Nah, don't need, okay. Don't need ritual spell casting. Don't need banishing. We can put that in the summoning. Don't need counterspelling. We can put that in spell casting. Chanting, we don't need that. Summoning, we don't need that. As well as binding at that point. Actually, I guess we can kind of put that summoning and binding together. I guess you could put disenchanting. I'm trying to figure out like what you can scrap versus what you can't. do something like this. And then, yeah, what it would be is more like, quote, anti-magic. Resonance. No. Fuck it. Don't need it. Go away. Begone, resonance. You were an unloved child when you came out. Okay, so that massive, beautiful list of ours has been cut down quite significantly. But that is what we wanted to do. Actually, we still need to do you. Oh, God, charisma, why? Okay. This is where things get complicated, because how many different ways can you convince someone to do something? You can do a lot of ways, and technically, every single one of these has its own value. However, I don't want it to be like, unless now, here's what we could do. We could break it down to something like roll talk, street talk, like this, like prol talk, street talk, corp talk, class talk, a mystic talk. And the idea being yeah, we can do the idea of charisma being more about your ability. Charisma at its core is your ability to talk with another human being, be able to actually have a conversation with them in a logical way. So if we use this idea, it would be like, do you know how to talk with people on the street? Yeah, I know street talk. Do you know how to talk to regular people without sounding like a complete fucking weirdo? Yeah, you can blend in with people pretty well. Prol talk would be like the ability to have small talk with regular people on the ground. Corp talk would be talking with people in the corporations, like kind of knowing what to say there. Class talk would be the high class people. Mystic talk would be like mystic things that are weird. Unless, actually, you can probably sub out prol talk to other talk. Something like that. Just literally the idea of like being able to talk to other things. Okay, and then we have all our knowledge here is what, but we're gonna change the knowledge to now. What we can do with the knowledge is pretty simply, actually, here's what we can do. All of these are going to be assigned values. So you're going to be able to have, I don't know about you all. You all are disappointing children. But you can have something like 4 athletics, 4 street talk, 5 survival, 3 arcana. However, alright. Have a nice night, Varric. However, your knowledges aren't ranked. You don't have 3 in this. All you have is 3rd Street Boys. You know about the 3rd Street Boys. biochemist. You are a biochemist, you understand that. You understand corporate security. You know, it's stuff like this that are, it's knowledge that you know. And that's like, yeah, I know Chinese. Cool, you know fucking Chinese. I'm not going to have you make a Chinese roll because you know it. And it's like, that's one thing I'm going to play up a little bit there. And I think that's kind of like how they did it here, sort of. But they also have like professional scores elsewhere. So it's like, yeah, it's specializations. No, we're not going to, no, these are just going to be things that you know. But your knowledges, here's a big thing. Your knowledges are going to be more thematic than anything. They're going to be able to make your character yours. Like, the sample character I'm going to be making, like, trying to make work, is Tweak the Elf. Tweak the Elf was a sample character I used for a lot of things back in the day. Tweak the Elf is effectively a former corporate wage slave turned Shadowrunner because of his friend. That's literally who he is. He would have professional skills. He would have career skills that others may not. And so when you seek out Tweak the Elf, you're seeking out Tweak the Elf for him to tell you things because he's professional in it and he understands what he's talking about because he has the knowledge of it. If you don't know something, it's okay. You can learn it. You gain knowledge over time. All right. This is going to be a severely fucking cut down system, though. Jesus. Chronicle system, bonus spec dice. Massively cut down list. I need suggestions. Like, that's going to be the key thing. Like, I need suggestions to make that skill list work. Okay. Okay, we got the skill list refined down. We've got how a basic character is going to look. So, effectively, what you're going to be buying with your CCP is you're going to be buying your meta type, number of skills / number of specs / knowledge, just things about you that are cooler and better and you and more specific. Number of attributes, amount of edge / magic. Yeah, and then you're going to have no amount of edge / magic. Okay. You got shifted out of the way on accident. Whoops. I know what I'm doing. Okay, so combat. Basic initiative system. Do we want to do the initiative path system? We are going to have reaction. Reaction is going to determine your... Yeah, why is there professional and career? I don't know. I'm just putting down what was on the what's on the page. Yeah, play some Persona 4, have some fun, enjoy yourself. Yeah, just it's anime as fuck, and you're going to accept it for what it is. It's your anime stepchild, and hopefully you like it. Okay, initiative. Oh, God. No. Make the initiative dice adding a total to your initiative attribute. It's your initiative score. 3rd edition. Save me. Plus 1d6 various pieces of cyberware adept. Sayonara. So, actually, when we have our reaction, your base initiative is going to be 1d6. Alright. So what we're going to do is going to be your reaction plus a 1d6. Actually, we can do the base reaction with the base initiative die, which is going to be ranked from 1, which is going to be 1 to, let's say, 4d6. Should be 5d6. If you give me 1 second, I need to use the gentleman's quarters. hello, I am back. Alright. No worries, Ajax. Let me just double check. People are pinging me. Why are people the way they are? Why, oh why must people be the way they are? Alright. So we can use a base initiative die, and actually if we have the initiative die, what we can do with that is you can augment the initiative die. If you can augment the initiative die, that means you have another mechanic to play around with a little bit. We have something to play around with a little bit more. So, initiative to be a reaction. Initiative die. Tell me third edition. What's your initiative passes? Initiative goes first. Each character falls should score to the lowest with initiative pass. Each character falls once before the character goes again. What we can probably do. Do we need the initiative pass system? I don't know. I don't think so. 5th edition, tell me. So it seems to be like a fairly like a thing that you kind of have to put in. Okay, so if you put it in, if you need to put it in, we can do something in the vein of initiative pass. The initiative pass is a lot more formalized, where it would, instead of just being like -10. How important is the initiative pass? I don't know. Would speed up combat quite a bit. We need speed in the combat to make fast. We need to reward fast characters for being fast, unless we give them a. How would you get up to higher initiative? It'd be just a D6. So yeah, we can do that. Keep initiative pass as is. Keep initiative pass as is. Possibly. Because initiative pass allows you, the character, to do things such as, you know, quickly. It's bang, bang, bang. Okay, I got initiative. I'm going to hit you a bunch of times. Oh no, I'm going to now be able to do a second action. That's what, at the end of the day, that's what it is. it is the power of using a second action on your own turn, on your own in the own same round, effectively disallowing another character to act. Keep initiative passing as is. Yeah, we just have to keep the initiative passing as is, because if you're going to have a reaction score of, if we have, it would be this 5 plus initiative. So yeah, you can do an initiative pass pretty reliably if you roll well. But the idea is that you're a cool guy, and Shadowrunners are cool people who do cool things for cool reasons. All right. Okay. What I need to do is I need to grab a red. So, okay, we have determined that how initiative works. What comes after initiative? Okay, we declare the action phase. So we need to declare actions. How do we declare actions? What actions do we have? We have a lot of fucking actions is what we have. So we have free, simple, complex, interrupt. So if we do something with that idea, she's got many options by her gun, cast a spell. 2 simple actions, 1 complex. So we have 2 simple equal 1 complex. What is needed? Also, all of this, probably not going to happen. Okay. What do free actions do? Automatic actions require little effort to accomplish. Free action is on action phase later than pass. Okay, so free actions at their core. So free actions at their core are things like call shot, drop object, let me do something like a multiple attack. Actually, what we can do is we can drop multiple attack, because again, we want to make this simple. We want to make it simple, and we can just implement the multiple attack just simply into the attack rules. So it'd be call shot, speak, and then like we do maneuver. No worries, Norwegian. If you're not feeling good, lay down, drink some water. You know how it goes. Don't feel like you need to keep things open. It is your health. It's just me slamming my face up against a wall trying to make fucking Shadowrun work, which is a lot harder. So characters perform 2 simple equal 1 complex action. So we don't need gesture. Why do we need gesture? We don't need it. simple actions. Okay. Oh, no, didn't mean to do that. Yeah, mostly third and fifth, consulting other editions if need be. Third edition is kind of like the simpler version of 5e. It cut down a lot of things. However, I have to use 4e's method here because it was a lot simpler. But it's like, it's cutting down things and using each part of that to cut down more things. And it's like, God help me. God just save me. Let's see. Like, each part is its own monster to be consulted. And that reminds me, I should check this. Actually, what I should do... Yeah, we can do activate cyberware / spell. Or a fetish. Yeah, actually. Let's see. Okay, simple action, simple action, simple actions. Each simple action is going to be its own thing. Simple action. Ba-ba. Do we really need call spirit? So yeah, let's do change device. Command spirit. To use a weapon, which is going to be down to ranged attacks. Well, one thing we have to consider: firearms, melee weapons, firearm, melee weapons, and ancient weapons. Just ranged weapons. But may not take any other actions. Same action phase. As characters one weapon each hand. You may fire each one by all the Welcome to 5th edition, and why people don't like fucking Shadowrun. People are like, who doesn't like Shadowrun? It's like, because there's so much shit you gotta think about. Nope, I don't mean to move that. I want to move the Notepad document. Ready to semi-automatic burst fire mode via simple actions. Fire one hand. Okay, so we'll need to add in We'll just say use a simple item. Like, hey, I want to insert a clip. That's going to be a simple item. We're not putting in quick drawing. Ha ha ha. We'll call it shift position. This is like going like standing, crouching, prone. Wait a second. Melee attacks take a complex action? Why does it take a complex action? What? But why? But why? Like, I get it from like a simulationist perspective, but not a like a gameplay perspective. That's kind of a weird thing. Yeah, no, it's consistent. Yeah, no, it's consistent, all right. All right, so here's what we can do. We're going to use a ranged weapon, and then we can use a melee weapon. And here's what we can do. We're going to be pulling some gamer moves here. We can use the aim action right here. And then we can use like the what game did I use for that? Notepad. Notepad, I need you to go to... Does it D2000? I don't think it was D2000. What game did I use for that? Was it Urchin Queen? No, it couldn't have been Urchin Queen. No, what am I doing? What am I talking about? No, Notepad. Where's the combat? Where is the combat operations? All right. No. Okay. No, we can do this. We can use this. So we have aim going there. We can put in, and then we can also do things like burst fire, spray, And then in melee weapons, we can do the all-in. We can do the all-in attack. Big damage. Big damage. And then we can do like the melee surge, which is risky but multiple hits. So the all-in attack is me going in there with a bat and me bringing the bat over my head to crack your skull in. The melee surge is me walking up there and doing a 1, 2, 3, 3 points fucking saber combo on your ass. A distinct but noticeable difference. But if you want to do just making a wild swing with your weapon isn't that complicated, but making an all-in attack is a big would cost a second simple action, unless you invest in cyberware. You get some certain cyberware, or you can invest in certain spells that allow you to change that. Okay, ka-choo-choo. Alright, I know what I'm doing. Ready weapon's pretty simple to do. Actually, we don't really need that. Again, we want to make this as simple and easy as possible for everyone to enjoy and play. Then we have like actually spell casting in general, that's fine. This is already gonna take a full action, so we don't need that. We can do matrix actions. Actually, we can do sprint. Spellcasting, summoning is spellcasting. Use skill. Okay, and then we can do complex actions, which there isn't going to be many complex actions. There doesn't need to be that many complex actions because they're complex. And if they're complex, actually we can use complex object. You need to put in, you don't put it in mechanic, you don't put in the wording like that, people are going to wonder what happens if you can't do that. Can I use a complex object? Yes. Use that kind of object. If you don't put it in, it becomes Mother May I. So we can actually use the interrupt actions. So interrupt actions are going to be played almost exactly to the book, because I think that works pretty damn well. Gives people a little bit more leeway to do what they want, but we're not going to have everything. So what we're going to do is we're going to have things such as dive, which is going to be -5 in initiative. Actually, well, we can also add in. We can add in a defend action, which is going to be another. We'll call it another -5 initiative. rather than kind of like rely entirely on, blind luck and their own problems. It's you, the character, are actively taking the initiative to say, oh no, someone's coming at me with a weapon. I'm going to try to dodge out of the way. Or I'm going to try to parry it or something. Just very simple. Very simple. Okay. Melee weapons. Okay. We have our basic ideas here. The core idea is armor is flat DR, armor is flat damage reduction, but goes into stun. So that possibly means we're going to need a lot more stun things. It goes into stun. Actually, no, fuck it. Armor is flat DR. It's flat damage reduction. But AP rounds mitigate it. Yeah. It's flat DR. You just do that. Simple. Because if we do that, it encourages people to do things a little bit differently. But if we do... Armor DR is never super high. Actually, what we can do, we want to make this simple. Armor has true DR, which is always mitigated, and selective DR. Yeah, like selective DR, which the idea is true DR always eats the damage. Selective DR, I need better. Selective DR affects certain situations, often ranged. So I have, let's say, body armor, which is 3, 4, which actually would be like 3, 4 or something. Actually, but we'll say 4, 3. So I have, no, it'd be 3, 4. 3, 4. So I have 3 true DR. So if I take 6 damage, I'm going to take instead 3 damage. But against firearms, I would only take 2. I would have 4 firearm DR or whatever. That might work. I don't know how I want to do that though. One of those things I wouldn't. This is one of those parts about fucking Shadowrun that's hard to think about, because Shadowrun armor doesn't actually do anything. Armor is simply adds to your test to negate damage. So if I get shot by a gun and I take 7 damage, I don't take 7 damage, I roll a bunch of dice, see if my armor does anything, which was one of the big problems with 6th edition, because armor was useless. Because it didn't do anything. But we need to make armor easier to understand. So it's just flat DR. Yeah, it just has to be flat DR. Damage, just flat damage reduction from what you're taking. However, that would also speed things up because you have a lot more guaranteed action. So I know for a fact my gun is going to do 3d6, going to do I score 7 hits with my gun, I'm going to do 7 or whatever the hit per damage for the gun is or whatever. I'm going to be doing that much damage, minus whatever your armor is. Heavy armored opponents are usually going to be a more big issue, but the catch is, if you're fighting someone who's heavily armored, they are probably dirt fucking slow. And we can maneuver around them, or you can do things with it. What I should actually say is armor is flat DR, but is rarely, quote, perfect defense. I might have to put in maybe a quotes, maybe a blot, like a stun DR. So the idea being, like, if I take 2 damage on my 4 DR, if I take 4 damage on my flak jacket, but it's a 4 thing, I'm not going to take any damage, but I might take like 2 stun damage because, like, I just got hit really hard and it's like kind of knocking the wind out of my, it's kind of knocking the wind out of me. Or, hey, they went for a called shot against my head and I don't have any armor up there, I'm going to take it full on my fucking head. Bang, bang, pull my fucking devil trigger. Okay. That's going to be one of those questions I gotta ask, I guess. I just gotta ask. So, damage, though. This is where things get a little bit complicated, because armor is no different here. Let's try. Finding this Ares pistol. Heavy position is damage code of 9M. In terms of dodge tech, 5 combat pool against target 5. He rolls 2, 3, only 2 fails to completely dodge. So its damage resistance test is 5, 9 minus 4. He rolls a 5 dodge with no dice remaining for his combat pool, which is 1 because only one of the dice rolls are equal to higher 5, so not only gets 1 success. Adding successes from the other 2 tests, not 3 successes. Fuck me. There's we don't care about the elemental damages. We can worry about that later. We don't care about fatigue, combat resolutions, declare, attack, defend. None of this is getting added in. Fuck any of this. Okay. Okay, so make a charge dice pool modifier, make called shot. No, 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 no. Guns, guns, guns. Spring led firing mode. Easy to example game master consistent clarify any weapon street gear chapter. I remember why 5th edition killed me emotionally. 5th. Fucking DeviantArt combat cheat sheet. I just need to figure out how to best. Oh, Jesus, Christmas Christ. No, fuck off, DeviantArt. Fuck me. Attacking, weapon skill plus agility plus modifier. Literally, that's it. Weapon damage plus net hits. So, okay. Weapons is, well, weapon damage is weapon damage plus net hits. Net hits. Actually, a basic weapon attack. A basic weapon attack is weapon skill. It's weapon skill plus either, we're going to call it strength / agility. So strength / would be quick, QIK. Quick versus defending. Yeah, we can just do reaction. So reaction plus. Yeah, okay, we can just make that, you know, weapon skill plus strength plus quick versus a reaction. A reaction plus. Yeah, this is a reaction check. And then when you add in defend, you get to add in X per defend. So that's kind of the advantage there. So what we need to do, we can probably add in like a hype up build int. Like, this is the most basic kind of it. With the concept being that you need to defend yourself. Actually, we can do in that regard, then we can just probably make that initiative a lot lower. Because it's in an ideal world, if you are in a gunfight, you are not just standing there looking at them and pulling a gun. No, you know, it's the snap, everyone takes a second and being like, oh god, a gun has been drawn, and everyone snaps in action, everyone's getting behind cover, which is just going to be moving into a place. None of this, like, using an action to get into cover. Fuck that. It's getting into cover into a place. It's trying to break line of sight. You know, it's immediate. Everyone's scrambling to not be the asshole sitting there, you know, trying to get a reaction. No, like, that's not the point. So actually what we can do is reaction plus mods. Yeah, per defend check. Yeah, then we can do like just plus flat mods. So for example, I'm behind light cover. Which we'll say is like a +2 success. This is like a +2 successes or whatever. And someone wants to shoot me. Someone go bang, 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 bang on me. So they would roll their weapon skill plus quick versus my reaction plus my reaction, but I also have +2 successes on top of anything. So it's kind of that immediate thing of like, okay, here's my reaction. I'm going to roll my reaction real fast and be like, okay, I got this. Or we can use it as like a flat modifier. That could work. It's not perfect. That's one of the... That's going to be another question. So we want to go with a flat defense. Flat defense versus modular defense. Which would be just reaction plus X. Or modular defense, which would be roll reaction plus X plus X. So you can theoretically score less successes. Unless we want to, like... That makes reaction really fucking good, but reaction is really good in combat. Like, that's kind of the odd thing, and that's why I'm thinking, like, maybe there's something I'm missing here. That, like, reaction is very good. And you want to kind of seize the initiative because, again, basic weapons attack don't use reaction. So if you're on the offense, you're forcing them to roll their reaction more. They're on the back foot. You are making the aggressive moves. And that's why it's like, oh no, this person's really dodgy and really cool. I'm going to run up to him and stun him. Or I'm going, oh no, they're behind cover. What do we do? Throw a fucking grenade. Use a spell. Use some cyber. Like, here's some options. Use abilities. Win the battle before you even begin it. Maybe there should be like a more... Nah, I don't know. Armor's flats, basic weapon attacks. Okay, we've got this. Yeah, I'm okay with combat. Combat works for now. Because it's pretty much it would be a game of... Well, it would be pretty much a game of trying to figure out, like, okay, how do we win the battle? Like, getting into a straight gunfight isn't fun. But getting into a gunfight isn't fun. Nobody wants to get into a gunfight. If you've already gotten into the fight, you're already probably in a shitty situation. Things have gone loud, or you prepared already for it. Yeah, we're sneaking around. We're doing sneaky things. We've talked our way in, but someone pulls a gun on us. Oh no, what do we do? Shit's already gone haywire, and everyone's scrambling. Or it's like, okay, we're going to kick down the door with shotguns, and we're going to street clear. That's already done. You've already done that. You've already pre-prepared for it. You've kicked in the door, you've thrown in your stun grenades, and you're going to town on them. So that kind of plays into the CMST. Yeah, alright. Yeah, okay. Avoid the autistic modifiers. Make it just real simple mods. You are in the rain. They're gonna get a +2 or whatever the success is. Like, if you're good, you can do it, but if you're not going to. Cut down the bulk. Play by the word of kiss. Okay. That reminds me, now we get to go to Matrix. Yeah, there's a lot of Shadowrun I have to go over. Wireless world, Matrix jargon. Hmm. Um, Dump shock. Third edition, save me. Oh, my third edition. Grids and hosts. We don't care about that. Systems rating. Okay, we want to go to 2. No, that's not 2005, 205. Okay. Welcome to fucking Matrix, the Matrix. Oh god. Oh god. Nobody understands how this fucking thing works. So we have to make it simpler. We can make it simpler. Shadowrun. Okay, hacking mechanics, TTRPG. Yeah, we're having to go to Gamma fucking Sutra. Oh, that's great. Thanks, Gamma Sutra. Not what I'm looking for. Shadowrun Genesis. Matrix. There's a number of legitimate reasons to hire a decker to get cyberjacking himself in this game. First of all, actual Shadowrun himself. Card bonuses, work with Johnson, you can jump right and hustle as many die off meta files you can, sell them to Roscoe, potentially huge sums. Matrix stuff is where things get complicated. Because what we can do... So we're actually going to have to split this up. We're going to make this... yeah, we can make this cold... Yeah, we can actually make it cold runs and hot runs. And hot runs. So cold runs are going to be pretty much cold runs, which are going to be non-threatening situations. You're going to go into a cold run when you need to do some legwork. You're going to do a cold run when things are going simple. Hot runs are... Runs, if I can actually spell hot runs, are threatening situations. Now, the idea behind the hot run is we are under attack. We are getting shot at. People are going to die. The second-to-second situations are important. You're doing a hot run then. You're going fast. You're kind of under pressure. Cold runs are a lot smoother. Things are going a lot smoother, and you need to make things as simple as possible. They'll make the next edition. Oh no. Right over on Gone for short is response to security matrix from hackers, another one intruders. So made it nice from that. DNI with Comlink, Techno-Man. Fuck Technomancers, we're not worrying about them. Deck is someone who uses Cyber Deck. The Comlink, a bit bigger than Comlink, size small towel or spiral bound notebook. Okay, so we need the deck then. Cool. We can use the deck. Ideas, concepts of decks. Configuration. This is what I need. What's matrix attributes? Come with various software. You'll reconfigure your deck, matrix damage. Okay, so at its core, hacking. What is hacking about? Hacking is about getting into a location. Getting into a location to change something, grab something, or do something. At its core. There's a matrix and fit. Don't care. Don't care. Why is the matrix used? Noise level. God, why are all the fucking things? Sound in the wireless matrix. There are a lot of things that mess with your signal, like nearby electronics, dampening. Okay. And do we need to worry about that? Probably not. Data connectors. Pens and one. Oh my god, no one cares. Grids. Okay, there we go. Come on, let's go. Let's go do grids. Device ratings. Simple one. Okay. Local grids. Define physical area. Devices in persona. Let's device real world. Persona. Persona. The people of the matrix. Okay. No doubt get matrix actions are only available in the matrix. Wait, how do you get fucking marks? God fucking damn. So a couple personas can just land to each other data spikes. We recommend you read the entire... Oh, God. All right. I just want to know what the marks are. What the... Nope, don't care. The copy doesn't changing an icon doesn't change the result. Matrix crack file marks required. Okay, how do I get marks? I just want to get marks. Let me see. Matrix damage to the target. All right, so we have to worry about matrix damage. So if we have to worry about matrix damage, do I care enough about fucking matrix damage? No, I don't. Why do we need matrix damage? We don't need matrix damage. Notepad, you are making this a fucking simple game for fucking children and a fucking baby game because people want fucking Shadowrun for babies. And you don't know how to do it because you don't like Shadowrun that much because it's fucking God, son of a bitch. But I'm okay. I'm ready. Take a step back. Think about it clearly. Understand. What do we need? What do we need? Give me what I want. What the fuck is a... Oh, God, why? Alright, so... Disarm data bomb, erase mark. Okay, how do I gain mark? Okay. Here's what we can do. Here's what we're going to do. So the core concept is that a system, a grid slash device, it's going to have a complexity to it. It's going to have a complexity rating. That complexity rating it might have something to do something. Grid test device is going to have a complexity rating. That complexity rating is going to have a series of complexity ratings. Is going to have a series of checks to determine the access to nodes, with each node acting as a repository of either information or triggers. Triggers do things. Information holds things. However, going into a place blind does not reveal anything. About the various nodes. Hence the hacker will need to either do some legwork determining what it is ahead of time, or perform matrix check actions to discover individual parts. Individual nodes. Okay, so then while you're in the matrix, what you can do is we can still break it down to basic combat. So 2 simple actions, 1 complex action. So if we break it down to like this, you've entered in, you've jacked in, you have number programs and such. So let's However, your also problem is that you're going to be understanding it. Is that they're going to be hunting you. Okay, so here's what we can do. Okay, we got to rewrite hacking from the top up. So first off, we need to enter the grid. Enter the grid. Now, if we want to enter the grid, we either have to have a direct link. Direct link, that means we're automatically there, or we're going to go in, or we're going to have to make pretty much a remote hack. There isn't one. Direct link equals automatic. Remote hacks require a test. Hackers build up awareness. Okay, if we go in the other... God, I don't want to make this too complex. Yeah, okay. So you enter the grid, you got to do that. So, okay, we use this concept. Let's do a very basic concept. You're going to be going up here. So, a grid. Okay, so a grid is going to have its complexity. It's going to have its complexity rating. That is your base ability to get in. Base check to, just get in. Which is going to be one of the big things for doing, jobs in certain cases. Which we can say is physical links. Physical links are free. You don't need to make a check if you're already in their system. So if you can get in there using stealth, social, combat, whatever, you can automatically get in. That's what makes things easy. it's your base checks to get in. Okay, so you're in. So you need to perform simple actions / complex actions to navigate. So what are our simple actions going to be? Well, these simple actions are going to be things like identify. Identify. What would our simple actions be? Okay, so we can do... So our simple actions would be something like masking. Which would be a hacking check. Which would be a hacking check, which would be reduce the... Actually... So simple actions are going to be mostly about checking. So it's going to be a check. It's going to be things like checking the alert, checking the icon, checking for threats, checking for X. That's what it's going to be about. The check action is going to be pretty much a simple action for you to answer questions to get information you need. So then we're going to have to, then we can do like an identified check, which is going to be based on the complexity of the node. So let's say there's going to be, let's say there's 4 nodes. Let's say there's 4 nodes. Now, you need some important stuff. So, one node is going to be difficulty 4. One node is going to be difficulty 3, and then the other 2 are difficulty 1. So you need important information. Now, the smart action would be, okay, I'm going to go after the difficulty 4 one. Cool, yeah, that's a completely logical answer. However, you may want to be like, okay, what's in these other ones? Can I find it? Can I understand it? What's around here? Mostly if you're going in there blind, where it's like, okay, here's a bunch of different nodes, I need to find something. Oh God, I need something here, please help. Is ice even a thing in 5th edition? I don't think so. Okay, so yeah, you can jack out. So you've identified it, and then your complex actions are going to be cracking, spiking, editing, harvesting. Harvesting, erasing. And actually what we can do is safe, actually jack out crack file. Okay, cracking, target nodes, target node protection, spiking, target invaders, changing something, grabbing and downloading something, erasing signatures, safely jack out. Yeah, okay. Just make it real simple. So oh god. There we go. There we go. Everything got shifted over. So if we put that, and then we... What would be the basic check for most things? Basic check is going to have to be... mostly going to be int. And then we can augment it by programs. Most things are, yeah, most checks will be int plus x. Programs will be able to augment as appropriate. Hacking is mostly a game about having the right equipment. It's a game about trying to find the things that you need for it. It's, oh no, we need to hack into the mainframe. What do we do? Well, obviously we hack into the fucking mainframe. This isn't complex. So if we do, so nodes host data, host things the hacker wants. Each has a target number. invaders are, quote, hostile hackers who are either trying to disrupt you or hack you back. They're playing by the same rules you are. Which also leads to here, which is the longer you take, the more you're detected. Every action increases the alert, making things more difficult. Okay. It also reminds me, the host can perform actions as well to disrupt the hacker. Quote, locking nodes. And just simply backhacking. We'll call it grid shutdowns, etc. Pretty much that can play into the idea of, if you're going loud, you do not have time to do this shit. You do not have time to get in, get out. You need to do it now. That's where kind of the hot runs and cold runs come into. Hot runs mean you gotta burn a lot of that. You're burning a lot of resources because you need to burn those resources because you're under threat of people who want to kill you. And if people want to kill you, they want to do terrible, terrible things to you. Okay. Okay. Welcome to the fucking sprawl. Just to contain the various parts of this. I'm just gonna put the hacker in there. We've got the matrix side of things. And now magic's gonna be a lot simpler. So thankfully. God, I fucking hate Techno-Mancers. Oh god, riggers. Oh god, I forgot about riggers. Okay, yeah, we're gonna casually ignore riggers for now. Okay, so we've got combat, we've got matrix stuff, we've got riggers are riggers. God help me. Okay, so we just need to work at magic now. So magic should be a little bit simpler, right? Right. I'm gonna keep telling myself that because the longer I keep telling myself it, the better it's gonna get. Okay. Okay. Yeah, okay, fatigue is hitting me. Alright. I think we got a lot done, though. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call it here for today, because I've been streaming for like 3 fucking hours. So that's where we are so far, and the goal as of right now is I'm gonna compile the document. Once I get the document compiled, I'm going to send it off to RSG and see what they SRG and see what they think, and begin work on it. Depending on if I get good feedback, I might be able to start working on it on Friday. If I don't, I might have to wait till Monday till I kind of get my own thoughts on the matter. So, thank you all for watching. My name is Notepad Anon. Good God, this was a nightmare, but thank you all. And I will catch you all on the flip side. God help me. All right, goodbye.